Hi and welcome to the first ever episode of Next Goal's the Winner. If you're a fan of football stuff, then this is a show for you. In Next Goal's the Winner, we look at all the different football products that are out there. In this episode, we will look at 4 different products. There's Flick for Kicks, a 5-a-side Subbuteo arena. There's Old School Football, who make retro football clothing and accessories, and 2 different books that will get reviewed as well. Let's start with Flick for Kicks. Earlier this week I went to Dundee to meet Gareth, the designer behind Flick for Kicks, in his workshop in Dundee, and I got speaking to him about how that idea originally came about. How long have you been running Flick for Kicks?
So 2011 we started off, and that was not manufacturing tables. We were pretty much starting up as a kids club in a local village where I was staying, just showing kids how to play and giving them something to do at night when it was too cold to go outside and play football.
That was like full-size Subbuteo at that point?
Full-size Subbuteo at that point, yeah.
So when did the idea for a 5-a-side arena come about?
So my own son was 2, I think, and my dad thought, obviously I've been playing since 1989, Subbuteo was pretty much my life, so he wanted to make a little one for my own son. Made a couple of different designs, and ended up that first one was a kind of a prototype, which we found out we had square corners in the first one, and the ball would get stuck in the corners. So that's how we ended up with curved corners, and and actually that first table ended up going to one of my pals in the village, and it was his 40th birthday, so we used that one and customised it with graphics all around for stuff which was personal to him.
And that's a real feature of everything I see you do. You make boards that are custom designed for every single customer. From what I've seen, that's your USP, I guess. Yeah, it's more than that. It's a 5-a-side arena. No one else does that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean that's what I get the most enjoyment out of, and I think that's why kind of people like them, so they can get the board in their team colours, so it can be themed. For the actual colours, or you can go that one step further, get the graphics all around the side, and we can use chants from the terraces or slogans and all that kind of stuff. We avoid football badges, but you can pretty much have whatever else you like on there. And printing on the pitch as well, we can personalise with names, and you can give the stadium your own name and stuff like that.
Foul! Hit the guy. Oh, no way! Pinpoint accuracy.
What do people like about using the 5-a-side arena?
I think they like the fact you can just put it in your coffee table or on your kitchen table, and it's just ready to play. You played Subbuteo back in the day, and you had to roll out the pitch, and it's all wrinkly, and the players wouldn't slide, they'd fall over, all that kind of stuff. So kind of got rid of all that.
You'd kneel on your striker.
Yeah. It's like,
the balls would go flying off the edges, the players would go flying, you'd lose them under the sofa.
Yeah, all that.
None of that happens with the 5-a-side arena.
That happens. You've got walls, the ball stays in play all the time unless you can bang it over the walls. But yeah, it's just it's really quick. I think the setup is one thing, and then the other thing is the gameplay is fast, and it's a kind of
it's a bit of a leveler, isn't it?
A leveler, yeah. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Am I saying using that part of the finger? You like
a little bit cheating, but
off the post, heart. Oh, safe. Oh, post. Nice. Oh.
And it is. I mean, I've played against you. My brother played against you earlier. It's fast. It's furious, and of course, what comes with that is great excitement.
Yeah.
Just watching you two play, there's a real sense of excitement about the way you're moving around the pitch and trying to get to the ball first and make the blocking moves and so on. I mean, I like full-size Subbuteo too, but there's something even more exciting, I think, about the 5-a-side arena.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel the same, and I think because it's so easy to get shots in, you just have to get the ball over the halfway line, so you can pretty much score from kickoff. So straight away you're straight into like shooting and scoring goals.
Oh! Yes! Oh no! Yes, he was definitely in my half. Yeah. I suddenly realised that.
My dad makes in his garage, so he makes the frames. So the wood on the outsides, they're either made out of MDF, which is then painted, or various kinds of wood as well. And yeah, once that frame is made, I'll bring it here to the studio, and I'll make the pitch just by sort of sticky back base material, use paint pens, and it's all drawn by hand. And the pitches as well can be personalised with use a vinyl cutter and heat press, heat sensitive vinyl, so we can personalise the names of the pitch. And again, it's another way to personalise your arena without too much additional expense. It's just a nice little subtle touch at the corner.
Right, so that was Flick for Kicks, which is a heck of a lot of fun, as you could probably tell from the footage. Let's move on now to look at something slightly different. Old School Football is a retro clothing company that's been in operation since 2008. It was started in Dom's spare bedroom, so Dom quit his job in order to pursue this dream. And what do Old School Football make? They make things like polo shirts, hoodies and scarves, embroidered, and I'm talking quality embroidery, with old style football badges, celebrating the heritage of football teams up and down the country. They cover all sorts of different football teams. If you look on their website, lots of teams in England, in Scotland, many teams in Europe, lots of international teams as well are covered there, so you can get your football gear for all sorts of different sides all around the world. Old School Football have had something like 90,000 customers in 11 years that they've been in operation, which is a very impressive figure indeed. One of the approaches that they take with the clothing is to be fairly minimalistic with it. And if I show you a polo shirt that they sent me to show off here, a good example of it, so this red polo shirt has an old style Manchester United badge embroidered onto it. When I say embroidered, I mean this is really high quality. This is not some sort of cheap transfer. This is not going to fall off or wash off ever, such as the quality of the stitch. And of course they're stitched in Portsmouth itself. Here's one I didn't take out of the packet, so you can see how it arrives. This is Sheffield Wednesday. You maybe make out the owls on the badge there. They do other stuff too, and I love this scarf. I'm a bit of a sucker when it comes to stripes. Any guesses who this is? You got it, St Mirren. There they are. And one other thing to show off, I really like the quality of these hoodies. So this hoodie here has got a Celtic logo on it, and well, it's nice and warm, definitely. You could see football fans wearing this. And what I like about the Old School Football range is that it's not necessarily in-your-face football. There's times when people like to wear the more in-your-face stuff, I guess, like the Scotland top. There's other times when you might want to show your support for your club, but in a much more subtle way. Okay, we're going to look at a couple of books now that I have read recently. This one arrived a few weeks ago. It's called Mastering the Premier League, the tactical concept behind Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. It's by an author called Lee Scott, who writes for Total Football Analysis as well. It's also a good magazine. I enjoyed this book a lot. I am a bit of a fanboy, I guess, of Pep Guardiola, and that probably helps a great deal when it comes to enjoying this type of book. I found it a quick read, so I read it in 3 or 4 sittings. One of the things I really appreciated about it is that every other page just about has a sort of tactical sketch of how some of Guardiola's philosophy is implemented on the field, and that really helps you to understand the concepts a lot better than you would if they were just simply written out. And I found myself watching, particularly watching Manchester City since then, looking out for some of the moves that Lee describes in this book. Manchester City fans absolutely would love it. Pep Guardiola fans, as I say, I'm sure would really enjoy it too. I certainly would give that book my hearty recommendation. The second book I'm going to quickly look at just now is this one here. You might have seen in the shops, Peter Crouch, How to Be a Footballer. And there's a sort of tongue-in-cheek subtitle by Peter Crouch there, which goes with his personality. In fact, the whole book is written in a very easygoing style, as one might imagine if you've ever come across Peter Crouch before on television, that he has a very easygoing manner. He likes to laugh and joke. In fact, the front page, the cover quotes there are all about how much fun Peter Crouch is, and it's obviously the case that he is a good fella to be around. But one thing I found quite interesting with this book, in complete contrast to the Lee Scott book, is this quote here that I pulled out, where Peter Crouch says, "The more you try to make something happen, the less likely it is to work out." And that struck me as being fundamentally against the philosophy shown in the Lee Scott book. But I enjoyed them both. I enjoyed them both a lot, and perhaps it says a lot about Peter Crouch. We've all watched him play. He does appear to be a very instinctive player, and that's exactly what he was celebrating there in that piece. You know, there's a lot of comedy in here, lots of stories from players he used to play with, teammates he had, encounters he had on the pitch. Some of the sections that stood out for me were sections about clothing that he and his teammates would wear, housing that they would live in, the houses they would choose to live in. That was a great deal of fun. So you sort of peer behind what we tend to typically see of football players in that book, Peter Crouch. So 2 books I heartily recommend. Okay, before we go, we are going to do one last feature. It's called the Counter Attack Challenge. Counter Attack is a new football board game. This is it here. I designed it. It's coming out in December this year. In Counter Attack, you manage a squad of players and you try to pass, shoot, dribble and score your way to glory. But your opponent's trying to do the same too, so you've got to try and stop your opponent from doing so, obviously. In this challenge, it's a particular challenge I've set up just for Next Goal's the Winner, where I give my opponent the 11 best players in the game, and I take the 11 worst players in the game, and I say, can you score a goal against me in 10 moves or fewer? If I make a tackle or if I make a save, then I win the challenge. So I took on Gareth from Flick for Kicks in the very first Counter Attack 10 moves challenge. Let's see how it went. You going to win this, Gareth?
Absolutely, maybe.
What do you call this formation?
This is called I'm not really sure what I'm doing formation.
Perfect. You're my kind of opponent.
Yeah, so I thought you'd like that.
You've got 2 in the right wing, the 6 on the left wing.
Apparently, yeah. That's
Purists are turning.
Going against the grain here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, ready? 10 moves.
Okay.
In this inaugural Counter-Attack 10 move challenge then, Gareth, playing his yellow team here, started off brightly by passing the ball forward to a winger on his right hand side. My blue team tried to close down some space, and you can see me shuffling across the board there to try and get my best tacklers in the team as close as possible to the ball, but my best tacklers in the team actually are not very good. So Gareth managed to break his way all the way down that right hand side, skipping past a few challenges until he got himself up to the edge of my penalty area. What he hadn't considered was that he'd left the ball at the feet of a player who's not very good at shooting, so I felt fairly confident I could stop Gareth if he's going to shoot at goal.
Shame.
It's a hollow one if you score.
That's right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you have to take all of your moves?
You don't have to.
You don't have to. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's 4, means you move your 10 and 11. Yeah. I am coming in for a tackle with Thompson. Tackling of 3. This could be it. I feel lucky. If I roll a 1, of course, penalty.
That'll do.
Oh, he takes the ball.
No! Disaster.
Takes the ball. Long balls out of the park. And the challenge has been taken. Destroyed.
Well done. Well done.
Good game.
Robbed.
Good game.
I should have shot.
Okay, that's the end of episode 1 of Next Goal's the Winner. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please hit subscribe underneath and we'll see you next time.